What's up, good people? Back in the building, in the place, in your face. It's the Connoisseur Big U, and I got another episode of the Open Ball Sports Talk Edition coming right at you. I said I was going to be covering game to game to game for the Knicks, so we had another game. So I got a report for you of how the Knicks did. So check it out. Stay with me for a second, and we'll get into it. Okay, so tonight we face the Los Angeles Clippers, which on the schedule, when I'm looking at games that I think the Knicks could possibly win, as opposed to the games that I think that they probably going to lose, I marked this in on the Knicks calendar. I think I wrote ass whipping on the game. Even with the load management, Kawhi Leonard did not play. I didn't expect both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to play. It was a back-to-back game, and I know Kawhi usually sits those out for that load management. Don't know where they got load management for a 20-some-odd-year-old dude in the prime of his career. But, whatever, it works for them. This dude winning championships, so keep on doing the damn thing. But I thought that the Knicks were going to get blown, smoked out of the arena. But instead what happened was we came to fight. For a lot of the game, we did have the lead for a lot of the beginning of the game. Once it got into the serious time, the game was decently close. We had a 16 or 15 point lead at one time. The Knicks did lose that, and then the Clippers had a good 12 to 14 point lead, and the Knicks fought back from that. So, this team is looking resilient. This team, again, I keep saying, we are not a very good team, but we are trending upward. And that's something that, to me, that's light on the other side of that dark tunnel. Our efforts are getting more consistent. We didn't have Elfrid Payton tonight, which hurt us a lot. Big up to that guy. Congratulations. He was away from the team with the birth of a brand new baby. So, congrats to that dude, man. Many blessings to you and your family. But the Knicks did move on without him, starting Frank Ntilikina in his place, and even letting Malik Allen get some minutes in the game, which, turned out G League player, doesn't get a lot of minutes. A little hit, little miss there. But he did get his feet wet and did make a contribution to the game. So, like I said, we had the lead through a lot of the first half, but with a lot of the good teams like the Clippers, the Lakers, teams that are good, the Bucks, they know that the first half is when you fill out a team. You just get a feel for how the game is going, and then when that second half comes, that's where you turn up and get in gear. Actually, they turned up before the second half and destroyed. They erased that Knicks lead by halftime. But in the second half, they really did pour it on. And the Knicks, I was surprised, were able to keep up to some extent. We could not compete with the trio of professional scorers, performers, star level players that they had. The star power, we could not compete. Even though, like I said, Kawhi Leonard was not there. But Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, and my little brother Lou Williams all scored 30 points in this game, which is ridiculous. So that's 90 points between three players. You are going to be hard pressed to find a victory in a game where you give up 90 points to three players. So I knew the way that they were cooking, I kind of knew what the outcome was going to be, but it was interesting for me to stay and watch through the game and see, were the Knicks going to be able to meet the challenge? Were they going to be able to turn that? They ended up, I didn't even say this, they lost only by 3. They only lost by 3 points at the end of the game, so it was a close game. But, a L is a L. But on a team like the Knicks that are in a rebuilding stage, trying to kind of find and define themselves, a loss by 3 to a team that was cooking like that with 3 players that scored 30 points is not a terrible loss. This is a good loss that they could, learn from. And on the Knicks side of things, you have Marcus Morris leading the way with 38 points. You had the Rook. J.R. Barrett with 24, and Julius Randle rounding up those top three Knicks scorers with 16 points. 16, 38, and 24 do not equal 30 something, 30 something, and 30 something. So that's why we ended up on the short end of that stick. But the Knicks were fighting from beginning to end. And, if they can bring this same effort, and that's always, this is the cliche saying that I'm about to say. I hate when I hear stuff like this, but I'm going to say it. If they could bring this same effort into games against teams like when they played the Phoenix Suns, if they brought this effort to that Phoenix Suns game, easy victory. So when we play lesser teams, if we can bring this type of focus and effort, they're a team right now, again, not very good. So they play according to who they're playing against. So against a good team, they get themselves up, they get hyped up, they play well. Against a good team, against a bad team like the Suns, they'll figure, hey, this is going to be an easy game, so they play bad. So if the Knicks can get a consistent level of performance, more like the performance that they had in this game, I think that we will be okay coasting out through the rest of the season. We don't got to win a lot because I would like another lottery pick. I ain't going to lie to you. I would prefer if the Knicks could, go on some long string of wins that would put us towards playoff contention or something like that. That's pipe dream talking. That's Sherm smoke talking. And I don't smoke Sherm. So what's more realistic is that, we got a lot of close games. We get a lot of close losses. Our record ends up somewhere in that bottom rung of the NBA, and we hopefully are in line for possibly another lottery pick, because then with the money that will be freed up after all these 1 year, 2 year contracts expire, we'll be able to go out, and if we have a solid system in place, which it looks like Mike Miller, again, you the man, is trying to put a solid system in place for how the Knicks are going to play, we can go out and try to get some marquee names out there, and maybe they will come and jump aboard this ship that is not a fast sinking. This is not the Titanic anymore. This is what it was. It used to be the Titanic. Nobody wants to get on the Titanic when they all know how that movie ends. So with what Mike Miller is putting in place, what he's building, and the foundation he's laying here with these Knicks, maybe we'll be able to entice, to coerce, to get some of that high level, upper echelon, superstar talent to come to the New York Knicks. Will it happen? I don't know. Hopefully it will, but we will see in the upcoming season. So right now I'm just enjoying pretty decent play from the New York Knicks. Of course, we make bad decisions. We make bad plays. There are some times that we'll come down the court on offense most times and do something that leaves me scratching my head like, what the fuck was that? But in between there are enough plays where I'm like, good play. The Rook, RJ Barrett growing his game, coming into his own, maturing in the NBA. Julius Randle realizing the type of player that he is, and then sticking to that, being a bully, being a bull in the china shop, things of that nature. Mitchell Robinson cleaning up the glass. There's enough of that to keep me interested in between those times where I'm like, what the fuck? There's more times where I'm like, okay, good play, Rook. Nice play. So I'm here for that. So we're going to get into the hot and not segment of the show. And you heard what I said earlier about the top scorers of the Knicks, so I'm sure that you know the hot performance of the game goes to twin Marcus Morris Sr. with 38 points, 6 rebounds, and pretty much, again, as he is a lot of the times during the season, the human flamethrower. So that guy was scoring down the stretch in the clutch, keeping the Knicks in the game pretty much by himself against that trio that I mentioned, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, and Paul George, until they fouled Paul George out. He was scoring against all three of those guys, kind of keeping it a back and forth situation and keeping the Knicks close in the game. So props to your twin as always. He come with the game face, laid it on the line, deadly serious, and did his thing in the game, notching 38 points. Twin, you did your thing. Salute to you. The Knicks free throw shooting at the not player of the game. At 24 for 37 and 64%, that's just not going to get it in the NBA. Like I said, we lost by 3. So if we would have made 4 or 5 more free throws, guess what, people? We win that game. So I don't know what Mike Miller is doing in practice. I don't know what they're doing as far as their free throw regimen is concerned, and I'm sure that it's not something that I'm sure they're practicing these things. So the players got to just get out of their head, get out that mental space where they think they can't make the free throws. Because I know 80% of making a free throw is believing that you can make it and then feeling comfortable in situations. People used to say that Shaquille O'Neal, one of the worst free throw shooters in the NBA history, in practice, he made them all. So he needs to figure out, Mike Miller, the coaching staff, the shooting coaches need to figure out how to get these guys to make those free throws in the game, because this night they were the difference between a W and an L. So for the not player of the game, I have the New York Knicks free throw shooting. Let's shore that up. Let's fix that and figure out what's going on, Mike. Because we can't have that. We can't have them losing because of missed free throws. So that gets me to the end, which is the opposite of the beginning, and that's why they call it the end. And you know how we end out the videos is always with something to do with Carmelo Anthony. But guess what? Today, I did the video before the Trailblazers have a chance to have completed their game. So I don't know how Melo did. I will update you on the next video with how he did. Hopefully he'll have a good game and I have some good news to bring to you guys. But as always, thanks for hanging out with me, showing love and spending your time with me, because you could be anywhere else right now. I appreciate you. As always, drinks, conversation, laughter, bullshit, always on the house. Because we can, many cannot. I'll see you next episode. Peace.